Well, hello everybody. I know my hair is very messed up, and as the day goes on and I walk outside, my hair should look better than this. Right now it's very messy. It doesn't look good, but that's just generally how my hair is. Anyways, it's not the point of this video. The point of this video is that I have an update concerning my POTS. Now, I went to the doctor today, and they took a lab. They took my thyroid, and I have some news, which is that my thyroid, it's probably going to be fine. They referred me out to a cardiologist, but I've been researching a lot of information, and I think that it's fair to say, unless there is some sort of like ECG heart issue, that I do in fact have the hyperadrenergic version of POTS. Now, the reason for this is there's a couple reasons. So, the major one is not actually my heart rate, right? So, I take medicines. I take Latuda, Lamotrigine, Clonidine, propanol, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, Spiro and estradiol, which is oral estrogen. And so it's kind of a wacky mixture, but the main thing is that Clonidine and propanol actually treat POTS. So I'm actually on medication for POTS. Now, what I know is that whenever you stand up, these medications, if my blood pressure is supposed to drop generally as I stand up while I'm on these medications. If it were medication induced, for me, my blood pressure diastolic, the second number, which is influenced by gravity, shoots by 15 to 20 plus points. So the other day I was in a hypomanic episode, and I had only consumed one can of Pepsi. Now, one can of Pepsi has like 30 milligrams of caffeine, all right? It is nothing at all. So I went to the nurse the other day, and I was hypomanic, and I had just sat down, and they took my blood pressure, and this was after standing and being all jittery because I had poor sleep, and my blood pressure was in the 160s over like 117 or something, which is almost an emergency, hypertensive emergency. So this is the general, but today when I sat down for a long time, they took my blood pressure and it was like 110 over like 80 or something. Now the diastolic was a little high because I was sitting upright and my heart rate was like in the 90s. But I have a blood pressure cuff at home, and whenever I stand up and take my blood pressure, the diastolic is usually in the 90s. And when I'm actually sitting or laying down, it's more like 120 over 70 or 120 over 75. So we are talking about a blood pressure diastolic increase. We're not talking about a decrease like my medications would likely cause. So that's the first sign that I actually have hyperadrenergic POTS. The second time, I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing it throughout this video. The second symptom that I have of it being POTS is that when I lay down, my heart rate slows. If it was medication induced, my heart rate would likely be consistently high. But it's actually whenever I just stand up that it shoots up by 30, 40, sometimes 50 plus beats per minute. So usually what happens is when I'm laying down, it's in the 60s if I'm not on medication. Like if I haven't taken medication in a while, it's in the 60s. And whenever I stand up, it usually spikes to 110 and then goes down kind of into the 90s, 100 range. You can tell I've given blood today because they're checking my thyroid. Now, this isn't like a confirmed thing, like I have POTS. We don't know yet. But it is more than likely that is actually what's causing it. Another thing is that when I'm showering or whenever I stand up for long periods of time, I can get parts of my feet can get really red, which signals that blood is pooling in my feet. So there's another symptom. I have dizziness sometimes. It's hard to kind of bend over and pick up things, stuff like that. So I'll just say, all right, so let's just assume that I have hyperadrenergic POTS. Like, let's say, okay, my ECG comes back fine, my thyroid comes back fine, because I have a upgraded version of a pulse oximeter, right? And whoops, I might like do a test. Like, you'll be able to hear the beeps, right, when I get up and when I sit down. Now it's not 100% sure that it'll show like it going up, but it should. So yeah, I'll show you what my heart rate does whenever I stand up versus when I'm sitting down. All right. So let's say that I do have POTS, right? Because I would say there's a good 70 to 80% chance, unless it's some other heart issue, because something's going on, right? A 20 diastolic shoot when standing up is definitely not normal, right? The heart rate, maybe we can dismiss that. But the blood pressure, we cannot dismiss that in combination of the heart rate. So what do I do? What's my plans for the AT? What's going to be the plan for the Appalachian Trail? Well, unless my cardiologist says that I cannot do the trail no matter what, I plan on doing it. And I plan on attempting the whole thing. And I plan on doing it for the POTS community. Because I know you all have it hard, and I likely am facing the same struggles that you're facing, right? So, what is it? The dysautonomia community? I plan on doing it for you all. So, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to go on the trail, the Appalachian Trail, unless my cardiologist says I can't. I've already walked 8 miles yesterday. And I almost fainted, not because of POTS, but because I was really, really dehydrated and I ran out of water. So today I'm planning on doing 11 miles around my lake, which is insane. That's like absolutely crazy, especially for somebody in my position, because I'm clearly capable of doing that, even though I have POTS symptoms. So that's the question, or that's my answer. If I do have it, I'm still going to attempt the trail if a doctor clears me to. So now I'll stick my finger inside of this thing. Let's see. See, it's 64. Now let me stand up. All right, just wait for it. Just wait. Just wait. See? It's 117 right now. It's having a hard time reading it. Come on. It's still adjusting. See how it's going up? See, it's at about 100 beats per minute. So it went from 64 beats a minute to 100 beats per minute. And you could see how it jumped up as soon as I stood up to 117 beats per minute. I would say this kind of has a hard time detecting heart rate. I have some heart pain right now from doing that. But you see what I mean? And whenever I do my diastolic, because I have a blood pressure cuff, my diastolic shoots up by 20% or more. So anyways, that's all for this video. I wanted to give you all an update. And I will be discussing more. And if I get a diagnosis, I will immediately tell you all. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to try to do my 11-mile walk today. Because I'm training for the trail, and honestly, this thing is not going to stop me. My heart rate is not going to stop me. I'm going to try to do it, and I'm going to try to do it for you all. So, see ya.